Hello and welcome back to Trojan Talk. Today we have a lot of exciting things for you, including interviews, filmmakers, and artists, and much more. And now for the critical access.
Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to Critical Access, where we give you the latest movies, news, and reviews. I am Jasmine Pugh here with Terrence and Robin. On today's show, we will be focusing on hot topics for the week, Black and Blue. But before that, let's get our top 3 box office movies and our not so features of the week.
All right. Our top three of the week consist of Midway, produced by Lionsgate, came in at number one, bringing in 17,500,000 domestically over the weekend. Warner Brothers' Doctor Sleep comes in at number two, and Paramount Pictures' Playing with Fire comes in at number three. Our cellar dweller of the week is Paramount's Terminator: Dark Fate. Although it was able to score its opening weekend's number one spot, it came in well below expectations with a $28 million debut, calling into question the fate of Terminator's franchise once again.
Now it's time for our hot topics of the week. Let's check it out.
If they erase the system, all of this would be for nothing.
Is this your plan? We're still alive, aren't we?
You got a hard choice to make right now. Are you one of us, or are you one of them?
She picked her side.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Murder's murder. Don't matter who you are.
So this is Willie with Trojan Talk, and I'm sitting here with someone here on Euler's campus. Can you tell me what the last movie was that you saw?
Last movie I saw was Fast and Furious thing that one that just went off with
Are you talking about Hobbs and
Odds and on, yeah.
I can't think of his last name.
Yeah.
This is going to be live today, so I can't think of the name. We'll actually.
You know which one I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I know which one you're talking about. So is there any movies that you're looking forward to seeing?
Black and Blue,
Black and Blue.
Beretta. I'm not Beretta. Harry and Tuckman. There's another one that I can't think of the name of. But, you know, those would I want to see that new Denzel Washington movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Black and Blue movie. To me, it was pretty good. Pretty good movie. Dealing with police brutality, police corruption, things that's been troubling our nation for centuries now, really. I like the direction that they took with this movie as far as going with the inside man, someone that's actually on the police force, and the fact that they took a stand to make it an African American woman
Right.
on the police force that's the witness to the corruption that's going on inside, with her being a rookie cop and everything. I believe director Deion Taylor did a fairly good, a really good job at telling this story and, just bringing it to life, shedding light on it, because although this is a movie, this is a really huge topic that's been around for a long time.
Right.
I believe that they hit it on the mark. I mean, they shedded some really much needed light on this topic. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I definitely feel like Black and Blue is a very well-produced movie. Me, personally, I think while watching the movie, I was kind of shocked, about a couple of the scenes, but I was very pleased with it. It was something that it's a movie that I would not mind seeing again. It wasn't boring or long or anything. I feel like it was well-produced, and I feel like the actress, she really played her part. Like, it really got to me.
Great. Yes, Black and Blue is definitely a movie to see, and we all need to be enlightened on this a subject of police brutality. Basically, cops getting away with murder and basically showing insight of what the police department is facing. And we have the good and we have the bad, but most of the time, it's the bad. So definitely, Black and Blue is a must-see movie. So I enjoyed it myself.
Yes, I mean, the overall movie, man, just the perspective that they took from, you know, her point of view as being a target. I mean, not only the target of the police officers who she captured, but the criminals that's in that area as well. So it was pretty well put together. Me, on a scale of 10, I would give it an 8.5.
Yeah, I agree. About an 8, maybe. Maybe so.
Definitely an 8. Pretty good.
Well, thank you for joining us on Critical Access. Well, that's all the time we have. Tune in next week for our next hot topic.
Are you struggling with money? Do you need your taxes done? Well, come on down to Tax Junkie.
Tax Junkie!
Hi, I'm DQ with Tax Junkie. We offer a friendly face and easy to understand service. You don't even need your W-2s, just your latest check stub, and we'll take it from there.
Tax Junkie!
Junkie!
Last year, we
Junkie!
kept over 40 people from
Junkie!
relapsing into debt.
And now for a First Amendment moment. In December of 1965, 13-year-old Mary Beth Tinker of Des Moines, Iowa, showed up for school wearing a black armband to protest the Vietnam War. Having heard of the planned protest, officials of the Des Moines Independent Community School District had approved a ban on such activity. Mary Beth arrived at school. She was asked to remove the armband, and she refused and therefore was sent home. 4 other students, including Mary Beth's brother John, also were suspended for wearing armbands. They were told they could not return to the school as long as they continued their protests. The American Civil Liberties Union came to the students' aid, and more than 3 years after the fateful December morning on February 24, 1969, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in the students' favor. The court ruled 7-2 that students do not shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate. I am James Kane, and this First Amendment moment has been brought to you by the University of Arkansas Little Rock School of Mass Communication.
Hi, welcome back to Film Forum. I'm Wilson, your host, and today we have what the hell? Hi, welcome back to Film Forum. I'm Wilson, your host, and today we have up-and-coming filmmaker and recent Mass Comm graduate, John Yankauskas, here to talk about his latest film, Halt. Let's take a look. Welcome back. It's nice to have you here, John.
Nice to be here, man.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about your new film, Halt?
All right. So Halt is a kind of like independent project that me and a few of my colleagues in the department last semester decided to conquer. We did a Kickstarter campaign and raised like $3,500 to bring our films to life, and yeah.
What was the inspiration behind your new film?
So Halt's a very personal tale. The movie kind of echoes the sentiment and like views that like people in their adolescence have, and like sometimes that struggle is often unseen, and it's kind of like the overall message in the movie is something that like came from within me and like the stories of other people that I know who have gone through quite interesting experiences.
Were there any difficult processes while filming? Was it a difficult shoot?
For the most part, the shoot went pretty smooth. There were a few times during the production of the movie that we took a little bit longer to figure out a shot or get the lighting right. But, you know, as a team, as a unit, we came together and got the movie completed.
Where did you guys happen to film this picture?
So with the Kickstarter money, we rented an Airbnb in Little Rock to shoot the house scenes for the movie, and UALR provided us with a few locations. I'd like to give a shout out to the nursing department for really coming through and helping us out with the hospital scene location, because without it, we'd have had to get really creative.
Well, are you working on anything new at the moment?
I'm always working on stuff. I'm working on a new screenplay for a new short that I hope will be done at some point in the near future and that we can start shooting. But besides that, yeah, I'm working with other people on their projects and just getting more experience underneath my belt.
Well, what do you think you've learned at UALR to help you become a better filmmaker?
Well, I learned a lot of technical skills from like camera work and editing and stuff. But especially for the movie Halt, last semester I learned a lot about like how to actually do it. This movie is a lot different than your like standard student short film. You have more moving pieces. I brought actors in, catering, everything. I wanted to make it as like real of a production as we could make it. And of course, we had a lot of things to learn while making all that happen.
Well, so what did you, I'd like to thank you for being here with us today. And And that's all we have, folks. Thanks for tuning in. And up next, we have Central High Flashbacks.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning. 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash, 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
We can. Oh, hello. Welcome back to Central High Flashbacks, where we will be discussing the history of the Little Rock Nine and their experience at Little Rock Central High. Today we have a special guest coming in to tell us about 2 more of the Little Rock Nine. This week we will focus on Ernest Green and Jefferson Thomas. And now let's listen to a brief clip of history.
On September 25, 1957, following a plea from Little Rock's mayor, Woodrow Mann, President Dwight Eisenhower federalized the National Guard and sent U.S. troops to the scene. Personally guarded by soldiers from the National Guard and the Army's 101st Airborne, the Little Rock Nine began regular class attendance at Central High. The Little Rock Nine were finally able to attend Central High on September 25, 1957, yet their ordeal was far from over. The Little Rock Nine continued to face physical and verbal attacks from white students throughout their studies at Central High. One of the students, Minnie Jean Brown, fought back and was expelled. The remaining 8 students, however, attended the school for the rest of the academic year. At the end of the year, in 1958, senior Ernest Green became the first African American to graduate from Little Rock Central High School. Martin Luther King Jr. attended his graduation ceremony. In 1958, the Little Rock Nine were honored with the NAACP's highest honor, the Spingarn Medal.
We cannot forget our history or else we are destined to repeat it. Things got so bad for the Nine that President Eisenhower had to send in troops to escort them to school on a daily basis. The mayor of Little Rock asked President Eisenhower to send federal troops to enforce integration and to protect the 9 students. In late September, the president ordered the 101st Airborne Division of the United States Army to Little Rock and federalize the entire 10,000-member Arkansas National Guard, taking it out of Governor Faubus's control. Let's take a look at testimonies from the Little Rock Nine.
I remember that the governor went on television. He said something about calling out that he expected violence, and he called out the Arkansas National Guard to preserve peace and order.
To me, he gave the speech as if, you know, bad black boys are going to cause trouble. And
actually went up there and tried to get past the guard, and they kept blocking our attempts to go in.
We were told by the commanding officer that they were there to not allow us to go in.
I remember there was a pack of press in front of me with cameras in my face and people howling directly behind me. I felt like they were right on my heels.
And I could hear the group across the street, right there at the mobile station, you know, screaming and hollering and all that sort of thing. But I heard it, but it didn't dawn on me that it was an unsafe place.
There's a picture taken by Will Counts of when the first day when we were stopped there, and the utter disbelief in my eyes. Of course, no one else can know what I was thinking, but I remember that, and I just remember that this cannot be happening.
My thought was, how can the president allow this governor to thumb his nose at the Supreme Court decision?
Now we will welcome our special guest, Fabian, who will talk to us about the details of who the Little Rock Nine are. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yes.
It's a great pleasure.
Yes, of course. So could you tell us more about Ernest Green and Jefferson Thomas?
Yes, well, one of the things that Ernest Green, one of the things that he's known for is because he was the only senior during the year of the desegregation crisis of 1957 and the 58 school year. And he became the first African American that graduated from Central High School in May 25th, 1958. And Dr. Martin Luther King was, of course, here for his for the ceremony, which was he knew there was a very important part of history of the civil rights movement, and so that's one of the things that he is known for, Ernest Green. Later, he went in to pursue a master's degree in sociology and from Michigan State University, and of course, he was a recipient of the Congressional Gold Medal by President Bill Clinton. He also worked under the Carter administration as Assistant Secretary of Labor for Employment and Training. So he is a very accomplished person and someone that's play a very important role in the history of the United States civil rights movement.
Oh, okay. And Jefferson Thomas. Oh yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. Jefferson Thomas, he of course was one of the youngest from the Little Rock Nine, and he is known because he actually completed. He also graduated from Central High School. After Ernest Green graduated in 1958, on the following years the schools were closed. So Ernest Green Jefferson Thomas, he left the schools, but then he came back again along with Carlotta Walls and also allowing him to graduate from Central High School as well.
Okay, I see. So after the schools, they closed for a year, and then they reopened, and everyone came back.
Two from the original members of the Little Rock Nine came back, Carlotta Walls and Jefferson Thomas. And along with them, there was another young lady named Dr. Silver Jordan Hampton who also joins them after. So yes, there were approximately 5 African-American students who came back once the schools were reopened.
Okay. Okay. And do you know anything about Jefferson Thomas after he graduated?
Yes, but one of the things, he was in the U.S. Army, and he was an accountant. And again, just like the other members of the Little Rock Nine, he was also the recipient of the Congressional Gold Medal, and along with other many awards, and for the contribution that he did for the advancement of the civil rights movement.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Thank you for coming and talking with us. And we're going to go on to our next segment, which is Arts in Arkansas. So thank you, and tune in next week.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thing that happens to me every day at work is seeing my babies, my students. There were several students that I had that were not able to read. That was a burden on my heart. A couple of years ago, I enrolled back in UALR in their graduate program for reading. The program is helping me understand different assessments that I can give them. That program is enabling me to actually make a difference.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Arts in Arkansas. I'm your host, Wilson Hatcher, and today we have a special segment for you. Samantha Poe had the honor of interviewing Annika Wade, and a very talented artist that attends UALR. We have a video of her showing some of her art pieces and projects she has been working on, and as well as talking about how her life is as an artist. I know you're all excited to see what I'm talking about, so let's go on to the video.
Hi, I'm Samantha, and here we have the talented Annika.
Hello.
And we're here to look at some of her work. She is an artist, and she goes to University of Arkansas at Little Rock with us. And we were just gonna ask her a few questions. So, Annika.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your favorite piece of artwork you have made?
I've made quite a few. I really like some of my black and white pieces I've made. I've done a lot of stuff with charcoal, and I feel like I'm more skilled in black and white. Let me grab this piece over here. This is probably one of my favorite ones I've ever made because it's more realistic.
I thought that was a picture.
Realism is one of my favorites, so this is one of my favorites. I just really like the foreshortening that was in it, and the contrast is kind of my style. But yeah, this was probably my favorite one.
That's beautiful. How long have you been working on art independently?
I've been working on art probably my whole life. You know, I've been artsy pretty much since I was born. I was born into it. My family's pretty artsy, you know. But I wouldn't say I actually embraced art until I switched my major last year. So yeah, I've kind of been pushing it away because, you know, everybody tells you art, you can't make any money in art, so.
That doesn't matter.
No, yeah, I just, you know,
As long as you're
decided to
doing
do
what
it, and ever since then I've been really growing in it and embracing it, so.
And you're making money, right?
Yeah, some, for little commission pieces here and there.
That's awesome. So what are you currently working on?
I've got a piece behind, right here. This is the one I'm working on right now. This is actually a commission piece, and it is Bill Street, and I'm really wanted to make it
Memphis?
like, yes, Bill Street in Memphis. This is like BB King's right here, and then the Memphis sign, and this is the cafe.
So what social media pages do you have?
I use Instagram. It's Aesthetically Annika. It's more of where I post my art and really express myself through that. So I use Instagram.
Well, is it okay if we shout you out?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
What are some challenges you face when working on projects?
Obviously money is a challenge. Art supplies is very expensive, you know. It's definitely not cheap, especially when you get into the professional level. Also time. Time is a really big issue for me because I work full time. I've actually cut my hours back quite a bit, and so I'm only working like 25 hours a week right now, which is more struggle with money than anything, you know. And so, and school plus work, and it's a big load, but I feel like this semester I really handled it well, especially it's art, I love it, so it's not too bad.
How many hours are you taking in school?
I'm taking 12 this semester, and then I'm working 25, so.
Busy.
Yeah, it's just the art projects take so much time and dedication that that's really where it gets me, you know, because I want to put my heart in every piece and make sure it's the best, but it's difficult, very difficult, so.
What advice do you have for aspiring artists?
Just be you. Like, don't try to conform to other art. For so long I just copied art because I didn't know what I wanted to make, but really dig down deep and see what inspires you and pull from pieces around you, and even if it's not art, just, you know, be creative.
Well, thank you for having us, Annika.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening to everything.
So beautiful and so talented, and everybody's going to be so amazed at what we show. But thank you for watching Trudge and Talk.
Thank you.
We'll see you next Monday.
Wow, Annika really is a gifted artist. We at UALR are truly proud to have such creative people like her. The art department offers art galleries and exhibitions free to everyone, including the public. The hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 10 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Department of Art and Design has art galleries in the Wingate Center of Art and Design, and that showcase traveling, invitational, solo, and group and student exhibits. They feature work by emerging and established artists. The gallery program also maintains the UA Little Rock Permanent Collection and Print Study Room with over 16,000 works of art. Please do enjoy the opportunity to see unique art that students and professionals have to exhibit. Once again, you can check out more of Annika's work by going to her Instagram, Aesthetically Annika.